Hi, ma11. So what we'll do tonight is I'll go over the answers to the questions that some of you have asked me to go over, and then I'll finish the section remaining. I think for the chapter that we're on, I forget what chapter it is, and so I'll do that, and then so that'll be for tonight's class, Thursday. And then Tuesday, I'll go over some questions and give you some review work to complete. And then Thursday of next week, I'll give you the next take-home exam that's on this chapter. Okay, so rational expressions. So like I said, I marked the last take-home exam, and so I sent you your marks. So if you haven't, if you handed in and you didn't get a mark back from me, just let me know. I've also updated your marks. They should be on ma11. If you don't have access to that and need to know what your mark is, again, just send me a message and I'll let you know. That was including the exam that we did before spring break. Okay, I don't have the marks updated with the last exam, the take-home one, because I just marked that today. Okay, so I think that that covers all of that stuff. We will be able to get through the course. I do have enough time to sort of do that, and I'll let you know more information as far as what the final exam will look like as we get closer to that, to the end. So the course was supposed to end at the end of May, and we're still on track for that to happen. Okay, so let's look at some of the questions here. So page 336, this was 6A, the adding and subtracting. So remember, in order for you to add and subtract fractions, the denominators have to be the same. So the first thing we'll do here is we'll factor this out. This is a difference of squares. So that gives you x minus 2, x plus 2. And so this fraction has the x plus 2, but it's missing the x minus 2. So we have to multiply the top and bottom by x minus 2. And so that gives us this here. Okay, so remember, with the minus sign here, just be careful in terms of the minus sign affects what's happening afterwards. And so when you multiply that out, you get 5x and 10. Okay, so negative 5x and positive 10 because you have a minus minus. And then your answer is going to be 18 minus 5x over x minus 2, x plus 2. Okay, and then your non-permissible values here are x cannot equal to and negative 2 because that'll make the bottom 0. Okay, 6C. So we've got here, they're not the same, x plus 2, x minus 2. So what we can do here is we go 3x. This one's missing the x minus 2, so I just put x minus 2 with the 3x. And this one's missing the x plus 2. So I put the x plus 2 after x, and then there's the combination of the two, and then you expand those, which will give you this, and you can put that together and then factor it, so it gives you 2x, x minus 4 over x plus 2, x minus 2, and there's your restrictions, or your non-permissible values. Okay, 6D. So this one's a little bit longer. So now we got three fractions. So the first thing we'll do is we'll factor this one. Okay, so we got, and so that's going to be y and y plus 1. So you got three fractions. This one already has the common denominator, which is a combination of these two. So this one's missing the y, and this one's missing the y plus 1. So the 5 we multiplied by y. The negative 1 we have to multiply by y plus 1, and then this y minus 4 is good as is, and there's the complete bottom denominator, and then you can multiply all that out and put it together. So it gives you 3y plus 3. Factor out the 3, you've got y plus 1 on the top and bottom that can cancel out, and so your answer is 3 over y. So y can't equal negative 1 and 0. So again, the negative 1 is from what you crossed out. Okay, so that still has to be included. Okay, the last one is sort of a 6F, is a long one. Okay, so you've got two here. First thing you got to do is you got to factor both of those. Okay, and so this one factors to x minus 2, x plus 3. Here, the first thing I want to do is there's an x in each of these, so I pull the x out. Okay, don't forget it's there. And then you got to factor out what's in the brackets. And so that'll give you x minus 1, x plus 3. Okay. Now, in terms of like when you do this, as far as the sequence goes, it doesn't matter if you put x minus 2 and then x plus 3, or x plus 3 and then x minus 2. Okay, the order makes no difference. Okay, so again, just looking at this, they both have the x plus 3. This one's missing the x and the x minus 1, so you're going to have to multiply this one by it. And then this one's missing the x minus 2, so you're going to have to multiply this one by x minus 2. Okay, so there's your x minus 1, and there's your x minus 2. Okay, and then you get, you multiply all that stuff on the top. Here's what you end up getting, 2x squared plus x minus 6. And then when you factor that out, you get that at the top. Okay, and so a bunch of non-permissible values, which factors in all of those things. Okay, so again, the communication's been really good. Just continue sending me messages on anything, on any questions that you have. Okay. All right, so let's finish the last part here. Okay, so this is solving equations. So first thing I'm going to do here is put these two fractions together. So this has a y minus 3, this has a y minus 6. So this one's missing the y minus 6, so I put it over here. This one's missing the y minus 3, so I put it over here, and there's the 2. We factor the bottom here, gives you y minus 3 and y minus 6. Now, they're separated by an equal sign. So if something's on the bottom on this side, it can be canceled off with something on the bottom on this side. Okay, again, because it's separated by an equal sign. So it's like, you know, it's like saying something like this, where you have 2 divided by 5, 2 over 5 is equal to x over 5, right? So the answer here is just going to be x equals 2. In other words, these 5s are just going to cancel out, right? Because if you're dividing this by 5 and you're dividing this by 5, you're doing the same thing to both sides, so you can just cancel that out completely. Again, but that's only because they're separated on an equal side, by an equal sign. Okay, if they weren't, you wouldn't be able to do that. Then the way we had been canceling things out is when they appear on the top and bottom. Okay, so that's if they're on the same side of the equal sign. Okay, so you cancel all that out, and so you're just left with what's on the top here. So we multiply all that out. That gives you this stuff equal to 18. And then there's 5y minus 42 equals 18, 5y equals 60, so y equals 12. Okay, and then in terms of your non-permissible values, 3 and 6. Now, if one of the answers were 3 or 6, even though if we calculate that, because they're non-permissible, that would be, again, what we call extraneous. Okay, so that would be a non-solution. Okay, the next one is a longer one. Okay, so but you do the same thing. Okay, so we're subtracting these two fractions, so we have to have the common denominator, x plus 2, x minus 3. So this one's missing the x minus 3. This one's missing the x plus 2. We can factor what's on the bottom there. Okay, so we multiply this one by x minus 3, this one by x plus 2. We put these two together. And then here you got x plus 2, x minus 3. So again, x plus 2 cancels with x plus 2. X minus 3 cancels with the x minus 3. Again, because they're separated by an equal sign. we multiply that all out, and so we collect everything, and there's a quadratic equation, right? And so we factor that, and we get two answers. Okay? X equals 3 and x equals 5 over 3. So x equals 3 would be extraneous, because if you go back here, you look at what the non-permissible values are. X can't equal -2 because that'll make the bottom 0, and x can't equal 3 because that'll make the bottom 0. So we had a solution of 3, which cannot be the case, right? That violates that restriction. Okay, so therefore this one would be extraneous, and so your only answer is going to be 5 over 3. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is, for tonight's class, just work on these two questions, 348 numbers 2 and 3, which are just these type of solving questions. Let me know which of these you want me to go over at the beginning of next class. So again, Tuesday's class, I'll have you do review, and then Thursday's class, I'll give you the take-home exam. Okay. Like I said, I marked your take-home, the previous take-home exam. Somebody didn't hand that in, so if you're having kind of some type of technical issue, you don't know how to submit that, just send me a message. If you're really struggling with the whole Teams concept, you can get a hold of the principal as well, and he might be able to give you a hand with that. There was that take-home quiz I had given you, so I'd like to mark that, and I'll give you the results of the take-home quiz on Tuesday. Okay, so those of you who still haven't handed that in, let's make sure we get that in. Okay, so I'll stop there. Again, look after yourself, and just keep communicating with me, so I can help you however I can. Okay, bye for now.